While triple-doubles are arguably arbitrary accomplishments, when we start to see guys doing it with over 50 points, we must all take note. So, let's not beat around the bush, and just call these performances what they really are. Insane! Of course, it wouldn't be that hard to predict that the number 2 offense in the league would have no problem filling up the stat sheet against the number 27 defense, and thankfully, the game was close, allowing Harden to play an incredible 46 minutes and 26 seconds. He shot over 63% from the field, not that great from the three-point line, and got to the line 18 times, hitting 17 of them. Oh yeah, he added 4 steals too. He got on the board early with a simple high pick and roll with Capella, but check the between the legs dime to him, who does the excellent Euro right by Payton for the layup. A double ball screen out of Horns was next, and if the screen is set this high, Simmons should just go underneath it. Instead, Hezonja is on Harden Island, and it doesn't take long for him to get kicked off. Same play again in semi-transition. Notice how they're already into their action after only 5 seconds. Hezonja chases, Biyombo backs up worried about the lob to Capella, and the mistake really happened at the outset when they allowed Harden to use the screen to the middle of the floor. Good contest by Biyombo, but this is the best scorer in the game we're watching. The Rockets weren't messing around, running the same high horns formation, and Hezonja allows Harden into the middle and foolishly reaches in to give up 2 free throws. On the break, Payton picks him up but never stops backpedaling. Harden brings the ball up high over his head, alters the rhythm of his 1-2 slightly, and gently lays it in. A nice pin down in the ball screen action is defended well by the Magic, but Payton lets Harden get into the middle again. The possession is over once he's side by side above the free throw line. There is nothing Fournier is going to do with the help. A quick ball screen 5 seconds into the possession forces the switch, and watch how Biyombo hops into his stance, legs too wide and his nose over his toes. No way he could ever move backwards fast enough from his initial position, and Harden gets another easy layup. To get 10 assists in a game, you have to rely on your teammates to do a lot of the work, and this quick up-court pass doesn't help create space for Gerald Green, but he just splashes it anyway in his man's face. Another pin down for Green that flows into pick and roll with the same screener, and more torture for Biyombo as he again gets his nose in front of his toes, bent over way too much, and now is stuck trying to backpedal, then foolishly reaches in to make it so easy for the refs to blow the whistle. File this under the questionable assist category, as Nene gets the errant pass, probably travels, then pauses, then makes the tough inside hand layup. Another pin down for Green is well covered, and this typically triggers a high ball screen for Harden when the initial action doesn't get a shot. With no pressure on the ball, Harden can thread the needle on the Nene slip, and Iwundu does not step up to try and stop the roll. We're not going to see a ton of fancy, clever offense here, and a quick ball screen catches Spates way out of position. I like how Augustine stepped up to stop the penetration, but Iwundu has to sprint to get in front of Harden. A simple hesitation gets him to the hoop, and a strip attempt gets him across the wrist. Spates thinks Iwundu is going to ice this pick and roll and force Harden to his right. A little inside-out dribble gets him attacking downhill, and Spates can't get to the spot in time. Midway through the second quarter, Harden gets beat but is rewarded with the rebound, then pushes the ball up, gets 0 resistance, and this collapses the defense for a wide open shot by a very good shooter. An even higher ball screen 4 seconds into the possession catches Harden's man completely unaware. Shelvin Mack does a Toreador move to get out of his way, and Aflalo stupidly reaches in on the one player in the NBA you can't do that with, giving up the and one. And if you want to play just like Harden does, with the highest degree of skill possible, then you need to develop an extremely high basketball IQ to transform into the best version of yourself. It's what separates the best players at every level. And the best place to raise your IQ and your skill is called Point Guard College. They have camps all around the country that teach you how to think the game. PGC is the only 4-in-1 camp experience in the basketball world, combining playmaking, thinking the game, leadership, and mindset training into a 5-day transformational experience for players. Point Guard College runs over 100 camps in 30 states, so find one nearest you and separate your game from your competition. Another high horn set for Harden. The first pick and roll forces a switch. Mack allows him into the middle with poor footwork, and you need a very tall, elite rim protector on these drives to have any hope of stopping Harden without fouling him, someone that doesn't exist in Orlando. As the half wound down, the Rockets get a little clever, setting a backscreen for Capella, and a nice little lob gets him under the hoop for the goaltend. The Rockets break into a Spain pick and roll where Capella ball screens for Harden and Anderson back screens Capella's man. This is played horribly as Simmons forces Harden right away from the screen, but neither Birch or Hezonja is in correct position to stop a straight line drive to the hoop. Can you hear me shaking my head? With the Rockets losing, Harden makes a great play to deflect the ball to the roll man, igniting the fast break, and laughably, no one stops the ball. Harden tosses it up, and you don't have to be very accurate for Gerald Green. I was about to throw my computer out the window after seeing another silly reach-in while he's shooting, and yet after allowing Harden to use the screen to the middle, on a really good spin move mind you, Jonathan Simmons just whacks him across the arm for the and one. This offensive set started out promising with some good ball movement and weak side screening, but Green got lost and ended up trying to screen at the same time Capella was trying to dribble handoff. This did force Payton to switch on to Harden, and while he's bodying him up, Harden just pulls for three and gets the free throws. At this point, this was the best defense they could hope for on the dribble handoff. Payton goes underneath and then contests in the air, but Harden just drops it in over him. Harden is one of a handful of players in the NBA that are almost unstoppable in the open court, and because of the cross-matching, Payton can't get in front of him. Watch how Harden uses his body to protect the ball, but lets it just bounce out in front of him. Then a simple crossover somehow fakes Fournier out of the picture. Simmons is worried about Anderson in the corner, and another easy layup. The Magic must have been shell-shocked at this point. Harden had 35 points, 7 assists, and his only problem area was being 1 for 8 from the three-point line. But who needs his shooting when a simple cross screen can completely confuse Hezonja and Biyombo? This collapses the entire team into the paint area, and it's a joke how open Anderson is for another assist. A quick double pin down for Anderson is defended well by Payton, so they default to their pick and roll for Harden. A second screen is contained well, but once Payton lets Harden get into his chest, it's over. Harden is into the middle and there's nothing you can do except foul. Another D'Antoni staple, the pin down into ball screen by Gerald Green. Biyombo's in the best position he's been in all night, yet Fournier foolishly helps one pass away out of the corner, a wide open corner three for another assist. Simmons plays good defense on Harden for over 10 seconds, denying him the ball out top and temporarily stymieing the offense. When they do revert to the old pick and roll, Simmons has his hands up and out, which is great, but he's forcing him to his right into the middle. And Biyombo has absolutely no recognition of this, and it gets him another layup. You can see Simmons yell at Biyombo for not being in the right position. More terrible defense on the curl by Mbah a Moute, but the timing of the pass is impeccable, Harden throwing it early so he can grab it and lay it up before Simmons can recover. Quite frankly, this was the best defense they played on Harden all night, and it gave him one of his big highlights, as he went through his legs or crossed over 10 straight dribbles before lightly stepping back into his patented three-pointer over the defender's outstretched arm. Another Spain pick and roll forces the switch. Good position, good contest, but Harden is suddenly heating up from three. As the game started getting into crunch time, the double pin down on the left side fizzles out, so Harden takes matters into his own hands with a sick hesitation crossover into a Euro step by the help. However, all that contact wasn't called a foul, so he gets up, calmly handles the double team down low before finding Capella open for the easy free throw line jumper. One thing's for sure, Harden is a very patient man. He will keep using the screen looking for an opening, and as the shot clock wound down here, the Magic had him right where they wanted him. But check the 360 pivot, floating, fading, three-point shot swish. I mean, what? A simple step-up screen by Anderson gets Harden going downhill with Simmons on his hip. Hezonja needs to go pressure the ball and prevent the shot, and hope his teammates can rotate to Anderson for the help. Instead, it's yet another layup to tie the game. Another forced switch, and Harden has his mismatch on Hezonja, but someone is going to have to answer why in the basketball god's name does he force Harden middle? If you say that's where the help is, then I'll say that's where the foul is, every time. Tie Game, in spades of all people, actually plays really good defense while forced to guard Harden off the switch. I even like how BBall comes over to shadow him with the low block. But then, BBall tries to flop for a charge? I ask you again, can you hear me shaking my head? Give tons of credit to the Magic offense for hanging in there and giving them a chance in this game. And they come up with a defensive stand as Hezonja does a good job by turning and running to keep Harden contained. And as the shot clock expires, they force him into an impossible shot. But Hezonja doesn't maintain his position, giving Harden the offensive rebound. This was crucial in a tie game playing in Houston, so Harden does the smart thing and winds the shot clock down until there's only 8 seconds on the clock before he begins the attack on Fournier. Fournier does a decent job to keep Harden in front, but as we've seen time and time again, Harden has some sort of his own magic, steps back for the 16-footer and calmly nails it. And to seal in his practice, and to put the last nail in the coffin on this historic night, Harden gets the switch, so he can have one last dance with Mario Hezonja. He pulls out his patented travel but no travel step back three-pointer, gets nailed on the way down, and still hits the shot. And this ended the chances for the Magic. While Harden deserves all the credit in the world, I hope it was apparent how bad this defense was. And it wasn't the effort, it was a positioning and awareness issue that plagued them all night and put James Tiberius Harden into the record books as having the only 60-point triple-double ever seen in the NBA. Sports fans, to see more of our great NBA content and analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell and adjust your settings so you can get an alert the second our videos drop, because trust me, you're going to want them hot and fresh. You in?